Hey guys, welcome to Screenshots. Today I'm going to talk about The Spectacular Now. Now, if you haven't seen the film, do not watch this review because it contains spoilers. With that being said, the story in The Spectacular Now was very interesting, This teenage guy called Sutter, played by Miles Teller, and he's basically a person who loves to live in the now. And you see this character that has to be developed, and in the beginning of the film he even recounts his life experience, partying, drinking booze, and the awesome relationship he has with this girl called Cassidy, played by Brie Larson, and you get the sense that he just doesn't want to grow up. He wants to stay in that zone in the moment. And then when Cassidy breaks up with Sutter, that's really when the story starts. He's kind of down and bummed with the situation, has no idea why she broke up with him, and during this instance he meets this innocent and lovable girl called Amy, played by Shailene Woodley, and he basically kind of starts using her to prove to Cassidy that he's moved on with his life. That is kind of the hook of the film. It really wanted to deal with issues that each character had, and you really show it in the most realistic way. And it kind of reminded me of films like Spun in the Grass, directed by Elia Kazan, and The Graduate, directed by Mike Nichols, which is both of those films deal with teenage love and the repercussions it might have, if you just go by instinct, and the outcome that you can have with that. And The Spectacular Now has that approach, has that dark and realistic feel to it, especially with a character like Sutter being such an asshole. And Sutter is the main character of the story. He's this likable and dislikable character, because the main point of the story is so Sutter can develop as a character, and through that also Amy develop as a character, and Sutter stop not being this asshole and actually confront life and realize what he has in front of him, and stop creating these illusions in his head, especially the illusion that he has with his dad being this awesome guy who he's not. He's this terrible guy, and when he confronts him, he sees that. And Amy is this sweet and lovable and innocent girl. You just feel for her so much. She's very timid, she's very shy, she's lives in her own world, but at the same time she wants to be noticed by boys. And when she's noticed by Sutter, she really feels this that she wants, that she can actually grow up with this. Shailene Woodley does a great job, because you really feel for a character like that. You don't want her to be ruined by a guy like Sutter. What does she do? She starts drinking alcohol because of him. That's not a good thing. She puts herself on the line for him. She goes with Sutter to confront his real dad, and when they come back, Sutter is completely moved by the fact that his dad is not the person that he thought he was, so he's not dealing with it well. And on the drive back home, he pushes her away and tells her to leave the car, and she just leaves her in the middle of the road, and that's when she gets run over by a truck. She comes out okay from the situation. She is hospital. She has some bruises and broken arm, and nothing else happened, and she still forgives him with the situation. In fact, she doesn't even forgive him. She says she totally understands that what he went through was an ordeal for him, and so she understands that he didn't mean to push her away from him, and to see that on screen, to see this girl do that, it's like, what are you doing? Yes, we want you to be together, but not like this. This is totally wrong. What are you doing? Don't do that. And then it just goes on into a situation where she wants to leave to Philadelphia with him. She wants to go to college, and she wants him to go with her and to work and both have an apartment. She thinks that's the ideal situation for her, and she also creates this illusion in her head. But when she's about to leave for Philadelphia for the bus, he doesn't show up. He doesn't say anything, not even a goodbye, nothing. She completely distraught with this, and she goes to Philadelphia on her own. And Sutter doesn't know what to do. He's totally lost, because everything is forcing him to grow up, and he doesn't want to. And he realizes that at the same time he doesn't want to be like his dad, because his dad was someone who never grew up, who never became the person that he thought he was. And when he's with his mom and he talks about this, he starts crying. He just just brought it into tears, and his mom holding him, and that's such a beautiful scene, very simply done but very effective. And you realize that he finally realized that he has to grow from this situation, and that's when he decides to go after Amy and go to college, go to her college and meet her. And that's the most, and that's the situation I was like thinking, oh no, don't do this. This is not gonna be again one of those films that are just gonna be all lovey-dovey, just be together, just because everybody wants the characters to be together and not actually think about the story and the characters and what makes sense for the film. It doesn't make sense for Amy to fall in love with this guy again. Like, he's done so many bad things for her, and she cannot just fall into his lap again, or him falling into her lap again. And that's when the ending comes. And when he meets her, she smiles, but does she? Is it a real one? Is it a fake one? What is that? And that's when you realize, you see uncertainty in her face. You see that she is in a defensive mode, that when she sees him, she knows that he might not be the best person for her, the best guy, the best boyfriend. She grew up from all that situation. She knows that she has to think twice before doing things, and I love that so much, that uncertainty. Are they going to be together or are they not? But more than that, she grew up, she developed as a character, she came out stronger with the situation for Sir. Sir did something for her, but in a bad way, and she came out on top. And that's the fact that these two characters grew in different ways, and not in a way that us as an audience would have wanted, but it does make absolute sense for everything that happened in the film. And for me, that was the most interesting part. It was the fact that it was approached in a dark and realistic and believable way, because, to be honest, I am a bit tired of films where characters just end up together because people tend to worry more about the fact that, when people are making a film, like, oh, we have to make the audience just love it and just to like it and just to give what they want. No, don't make a film just to appease the audience. Make the film that makes sense to the story, makes sense to the characters, makes it truly believable. To have a happy ending, it needs to make absolute sense, like 500 Days of Summer has. The ending makes perfect sense for the film, and I really like that about 500 Days of Summer. But here in Spectacular Now, it doesn't give you a happy ending, and I like that so much. And people will love the film, in spite of the fact that it has this uncertainty ending, this open ending. The only thing I could say is I want it to be longer. I wanted to really feel the uncertainty in Amy, in Shailene Woodley's character. I really wanted to feel that, and unfortunately I think it cuts a little bit too soon, but it's enough for you to understand that she has uncertainty. She knows that she has to be careful with a guy like Sutter, and films should risk more. Films should do this more often. I also loved James Ponsolt's direction in the film. The many use of still shots and many use of wide shots give this film basically kind of what it was asking for, to let the scenes speak for themselves and let the actors act. It has this old style filmmaking approach that it was really enjoyable to watch. You can see like Sarah talking, or you can see like Amy's reaction to it, and vice versa. And I really like that about the film. You get that constantly, and also the fact that it doesn't use close-ups that much. I mean, it does use some, of course, but the fact that it also has many wide shots. When close-ups do appear, you really feel them. It really sticks in your head. For instance, the ending with Amy's face, the uncertainty that you see in her face, it's done in the close-up, and it really sticks in your head because of it, because it doesn't use that many close-ups throughout the film, and it's a film that really showcases when it's thought out, and the director knows exactly what he's doing to really showed the story in a simple approach, but in a really effective way. To give this really dark and realistic feeling that the film has. It was really refreshing to see, and it was really reminiscent of films like Splendid in the Grass and The Graduate, especially The Graduate. I hope you enjoyed my review, I'm looking forward to know your opinions below, and don't forget to subscribe, and remember, these are my personal opinions.